Let's take it from the top. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. A.
A, B, C, D, S.
E.
By the time I talk to you, I will have heard it, and you'll probably be able to fill me in on a lot of stuff. Anyway, happy 70th. Looking forward to raising a few glasses of scotch.
Balloons.
Balloons.
Yes.
Right.
Brad still has actually, an amazing sense of humor, loved to converse with people. Talking was a very big part of his life. At being a teacher, obviously, he would need to do that. But conversation and sitting around the dining room table or sitting out on the deck with a coffee in the morning, he loved to talk.
So it's the same starting point as our sound. B.
So pre-stroke, he was a very loquacious person and enjoyed being with people. That didn't change after the stroke, fortunately. He had no personality change, just an inability to be loquacious. He wasn't able to speak.
Balloons. God. I have had 2 strokes, okay? The first one was a real, how can I say it? Well, for two to 3 weeks, nobody knows what, they didn't know whether or not I was going to come out in it, or whether or not I'll always be a vegetable, you know?
What's that? What's aphasia? You know, it's they don't know the word. When I say, well, he is not able to speak well, he can't read, and he can't write. Those are the 3 things that have been affected by the aphasia.
Okay, so
It was a year after Brad had almost a year after Brad had his stroke, that we found out about Interact.
This one? Okay.
My name is Linda Wozniak. I'm the director of the Interact program, which is the Intensive Residential Aphasia Communication Program here at Dal.
Anybody else help him out here? Anybody else know what continence?
The program is designed for individuals who have communication problems after some type of brain injury, like a stroke or head trauma. And the whole premise behind the program is that to get the most benefit from treatment, you really need to deliver it intensively.
got telephone.
What happens here at Interact is that patients come to us and they receive 5 hours of speech and language therapy 5 days a week for 4.5 weeks.
It's an industry that here and here, between the 2, how can I say this?
This is actually the 3rd time that he's come to us. During the first 2 sessions, Brad came to us not too long after his initial stroke, and then came back a year later. And at that time, he was working on a lot of general communication skills, being able to communicate with strangers, being able to put words into complete sentences.
Skating.
Good.
By myself, and 4, he.
My name's Alina Kostopoulos, and I'm the coordinator of the Interact program.
There.
The good thing is, with Brad's little stroke that he had last year, he didn't lose too much of his progress. So we're still building on a lot of the things that we had worked on before. A big focus for him this program is his reading.
Townships. We recalled how we woke up after midnight to hear a distant metallic sound, a faint clicking in the heavens, eerie and totally out of place in such a remote
We've
space.
been married, actually, we've been together for 50 years, since high school, and so we know each other very, very well. That's probably why it's easy for me to complete his sentences when he doesn't think of the right word. Which is better for you?
Well, I suppose that.
Yes, this is a salad,
Yeah.
and this is... Then you start to realize, well, you know, what's more important? Putting a mortgage on the house and going to interact and being able to talk to my husband for the rest of our lives together, or having him sit in silence and be, be so totally on his own, so lonely on his own.
Does that look right?
No.
Nope. Nope. So keep moving them around. Sky.
Sky.
Mm-hmm. S-K-Y. Sky. Okay, so we've got that S, the letter K that we were using before, and Y. Sky. Now, where would you find 114? I want you to look around.
I would say right there.
Exactly. You really help people to gain confidence by putting them in situations that are somewhat challenging, but where they feel supported. And you give them lots of practice before you do that. So you basically prepare them for various situations and activities. Then you put them out there. You don't make it too easy, because to give someone a task that's too simple, they're not going to learn something. But you want to make sure that the supports are in place. And then once they are, if they're successful and you've set it up correctly, that really helps to build confidence. Mission accomplished.
Yes, very
So now
good.
you have to go and see if you have it in your budget to get it.
When it's not that, it's
No, I know. I know, I'm teasing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go, actually, you know what? Let's go down this way, Brad, and then we'll take the elevator upstairs.
okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Want to get a coffee?
Yes.
Okay.
That'd be
When you
great.
think about aphasia, it's almost as if the person has been transported to another country where they don't speak the language. So I often use that analogy with people, because if you've ever traveled to a country where you didn't know the language, you know how challenging it was to communicate with other people. You probably couldn't read the daily paper, and people didn't understand what you were saying. So it gives you sort of an idea of what it would be like for somebody every day.
July 20.
We see this all the time. Like this is what you're seeing. You're seeing a snapshot. This is a small group, but like this is just, we run the whole gamut here. And the general public doesn't know anything about this, because the very thing that you need to do to be an advocate for this, you can't.
You have to get to the point where you're not waiting for that point to come. You have to say, well, okay, so someday that may happen, but you know what? Today's the day I'm living, and we've got to do what we can do today. So you can't always be waiting for it to get better, because it's one of those things that doesn't get better quickly, and you can waste your life waiting for it to get better.
The point is, I'm here, and I've got the best care in the world. And if I never gain everything back, that's okay. The fact is, I'm still alive, and there's lots of things I can do, even though I maybe can't do everything, It's just, that's the way it is. And you have to live with it, because if you don't, you'll just, and you don't want to do that. You sit over here and you just keep, like that. But some things you may never get again, that's what it is. And the whole thing is, you don't look at the things you can't do. You look at the things that you can do. Really, yeah.
I'm gonna ask you to look away. I love my hands, but it hurts to pray. The life I have isn't what I'd seen. The sky's not blue and the field's not green.